really interesting strategy. So James, when he did his house hack, we talk a lot about one of the huge advantages of house hacking. You could come up with a lesser down payment on a property where typically, if that was just an investment property, where typically you'd have to come up with 25% down if it was strictly an investment property. James did the opposite. So he decided to put that 25% down, even though you were owner occupying it. Reason being, correct me if I'm wrong,
to manipulate the mortgage payment.
Yes. So what was more important to James was keeping that monthly payment and the offset of the rent lower, and you were willing to sacrifice some savings.
Correct.
Which I think is great. And I think that should appeal to a lot of the folks that are watching today. I feel like we have so many friends and clients that they may have built up a savings, right? Or gotten a gift or whatever, and that money sits in their bank account. It's great. It makes you feel good. Their daily lives are more affected by monthly budgets. So why not put some more money into that down payment, into that home, and feel great month to month when...
Absolutely. You have to back into your outlook, right? Like when I bought this property, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to own this thing 30 years, right? This is going to be my primary resident until it is too small to live in, right? So what significant event could happen next, right? Marriage. I want to have children. We have 3 bedrooms, 2 of them are offices. So at some point, we're probably going to grow out of this space, and it no longer is the primary resident. But I wanted to, when I purchased it, to make sure that this property was never sold when I went to buy the next one as a primary resident.
Okay.
So then what happens when you owner occupy is you can get 30-year fixed mortgage rates. And on a lot of investment properties that are owned, for example, by an LLC, you get 5-year balloons or 7-year balloons.
Yep.
So owning this property, I know that for the next 30 years, my payment is going to be fixed at the time, low rates. And then this property becomes paid off in 30 years. It starts to do a lot of things. You have a lot of equity. You could rent the unit I live in, and you could start to use that cash flow towards paying one of your children's rent in college.
Yep. You make it a true vehicle that works for you however
set and forget.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah. So James, much like our previous guest, Chris, I would say they are 2 of the most analytically gifted people I've met. And I genuinely mean that. You can analyze, reanalyze. You have spreadsheets. Sometimes you don't even need them. I could just tell you a problem I'm having and you could work it out. So I refuse to let us talk about anything with analytics. It's just too boring.